Once upon a time, in a verdant forest nestled between rolling hills, there lived a cunning and mischievous fox named Felix. He was renowned throughout the woodland for his sly ways and clever tricks, but there was one thing that set him apart from the rest of the animals: a beautiful mask. This mask was no ordinary mask. It was made of the finest materials and adorned with intricate patterns that sparkled in the moonlight. When Felix wore it, he felt transformed, as if he could become anyone or anything he desired. It was a mask that concealed his true identity, allowing him to play tricks on his fellow forest dwellers with ease. The forest, with its towering trees, babbling brooks, and diverse inhabitants, was a place of peace and harmony. The animals lived together in unity, helping one another through the changing seasons. They celebrated each other's joys and comforted each other during times of sorrow. In this forest, trust was the cornerstone of their peaceful coexistence. Felix, however, found little satisfaction in this idyllic existence. His desire for excitement and the thrill of cunning pranks often led him astray. He would put on his mask, which he had come to name the Mask of Many Faces, and set off into the heart of the forest, his eyes filled with the sparkle of mischief. As he strolled through the woods, he came across a young rabbit named Rosie, who was busy gathering berries for her family. Felix couldn't resist the opportunity to use his mask's magic to impersonate Rosie's best friend, a wise old owl named Oliver. He approached her and said in a voice that sounded remarkably like the owl's, "Rosie dear, those berries you're collecting are poisonous. You must stop at once." Startled, Rosie dropped her basket of berries and looked up, her wide eyes filled with fear. "Oh, Oliver, thank you for warning me. I'll be more careful." Felix watched with satisfaction as Rosie hurried away from the berry bushes, leaving her bountiful harvest behind. He couldn't help but chuckle under his mask, but little did he know that his actions would set in motion a series of events that would change his life forever. As the days passed, Felix's pranks became increasingly elaborate and cruel. He impersonated various animals, sowing discord and confusion among the forest inhabitants. He reveled in the chaos he created, all while hidden behind his magical mask. One evening, as Felix was preparing to play yet another trick, he heard a soft, melodic voice calling out to him from the shadows. "Dear Fox, why do you use your mask to cause harm and strife? Is there no better use for your talents?" Startled, Felix turned to see a gentle, wise-looking badger named Beatrice emerging from the underbrush. Her eyes seemed to pierce through the mask and into his very soul. Felix hesitated, his mischievous spirit momentarily quelled by the sincerity in Beatrice's gaze. I suppose I enjoy the thrill of it all," he mumbled, unable to meet her gaze. Beatrice nodded knowingly. "There is joy in laughter and play, but there is greater joy in kindness and empathy. Your mask may hide your true self from others, but it cannot hide it from you. Consider this, young fox. What do you truly want from life?" Felix was left speechless as Beatrice disappeared into the forest, leaving him alone with his thoughts. For the first time, he began to question the path he had chosen. As he removed his mask, he gazed at his reflection in a crystal-clear pond and saw a fox burdened by guilt and loneliness. Days turned into weeks, and Felix withdrew from his pranks, spending his time deep in contemplation. He realized that his true desire was not to sow discord, but to be a part of the forest community, to be accepted and loved for who he truly was. One bright morning, Felix approached Rosie, the young rabbit he had once deceived, without his mask. "Rosie," he said earnestly, "I owe you an apology. I was the one who frightened you away from your berry picking that day. I'm truly sorry." Rosie blinked in surprise, then smiled warmly at Felix. "Apology accepted, Felix. I'm glad you came to your senses." Felix continued to seek forgiveness from all the animals he had wronged, one by one, revealing his true self and vowing to make amends. Some were cautious, but many, like Rosie, embraced the change in him. As time passed, Felix found himself welcomed into the forest community, no longer an outcast but a valued member. He learned the true meaning of friendship, empathy, and the joy that comes from doing good deeds for others. The mask, once his source of power and deception, was placed on a high branch where it could no longer tempt him. Felix had discovered that his true self was more powerful and beautiful than any mask could ever be. And so, the forest thrived in harmony, thanks to the transformation of one cunning fox who had learned the most important lesson of all, that the masks we wear cannot change who we are inside, but our choices and actions can. The moral of this fable is that true happiness and acceptance come from being your authentic self and treating others with kindness and empathy, rather than trying to hide behind a mask of deception and trickery. In the end, it is our actions and the content of our character that define us and determine the relationships we build. As you drift into a peaceful slumber, remember the story of Felix the Fox and his journey of self-discovery. Reflect on the masks you may wear in your own life and consider the power of authenticity and empathy. With each breath, let go of any facades that may hold you back and embrace the beauty of your true self. Sleep peacefully, dear listener, and wake up tomorrow with a heart filled with compassion and a spirit ready to shine its light upon the world. Good night and sweet dreams.